build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me balls, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. We call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello everybody, welcome to Longbangers. This is Shortbangers, episode 12. I'm Matty, joined tonight by John. John, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just laughing at everyone looking at me at the screen trying to replicate your movements.
Aye, good. I was playing inside the house there, just was tracking it. Also got Brian in tonight. Brian, how you doing?
I'm back and I'm splendid, thank you.
Good stuff. Right, so Shortbangers, if this is the first time you've listened to it, why? But also how it works is we've got folks send us in questions. We have 20 minutes-ish to answer them. So I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock just now and make it sound like a wee fucking game show. And then we'll get in with the first question. The timer started. First question comes from Portrush Punk. He says, one for the next Shortbangers. Would you rather be a happy clapper or a bedwetter? John?
Neither. I absolutely detest the terminology.
Oh, do you? You stuck up prick here. It's just a fucking question. The boys asked a nice question. Right?
Thanks for the question.
Taking the time to send it in to us, and you've just poo-pooed it straight away.
I've not poo-pooed the man.
Right, why do you not like the terminology?
I think it is indicative of a poor vocabulary.
Wow.
No offence. Brian, what about you?
I'd probably be a happy clapper. A bedwetter, to me, well, I've shat myself several times, haven't I? And a bedwetter just adds another string to that particularly.
Would you rather be a happy clapper because you are actually a bedwetter? Is that because you have been one of the most dour faces over my time on Longbangers, with few notable exceptions?
I think I'm generally quite a happy-go-lucky guy, to be honest, John. I find that staggering.
Not when it comes to Hibs.
I'm not as you. You know, you're still sending Paul Heckenbottom fan mail, so
that's not
nobody
true.
Can be as happy as you are.
I no longer name him. He's now just the Yorkshireman.
The Yorkshireman.
And at some point, I'll just never refer to him ever again in any shape or form.
He's been downgraded from the erotic Yorkshireman, as you were referring to him last night. Do you mind back in the days when we had the golden generation and they were getting sold off on Hibsnet? It was Happy Clapper or Doom and Gloomer, I think. Bedwetter came later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have been around .net long enough to remember that kind of stuff. Many
to be fair, like,
argument about that.
Can I maybe just elaborate a wee bit on my previous comments? So people that use things like cockwomble, people that use things like snowflake, they can get to fuck as well.
All right. You feel better?
I called you a thunderwank a couple of days ago on Twitter. Is that okay?
I think that's a wee bit creative.
What about clusterfuck?
That's fine. Do you know what? See, the first time I ever heard clusterfuck, I thought someone had said custard fuck, and I just imagined like a big custardy sex party.
Do you know if you filled a swimming pool with custard, you could walk from one end to the other?
I couldn't. I love custard.
Just breaststroking your way through the ambrosia.
Wee bit of crumble in there. Happy days. Right, next question comes from David Cumming. He said, if there was a sequel to the A-Team movie, which Hibs players would play the lead roles?
I said I was going to look into this, and I never.
And you never. Hey, Martin Boyle would need to be Murdoch, Howling Mad Murdoch. You put Boyle in there. I think Lewis Stevenson's the obvious one for B.A. Baracus.
Yes, agree.
What about Jason Cummings as Howling Mad Murdoch?
He doesn't play for Hibs.
No.
Oh, does he have to play for Hibs now? Current? Was the question current players?
Which Hibs players would play the lead roles?
Right, current Hibs players. Aye. Boiler's like the class clown now, isn't he?
Aye, that's a nice way to put it, isn't it? No offence, Martin, if you're listening.
Darren McGregor would have his face.
Aye, do you know think McGregor would be quite a good fit for Hannibal though, because he's like that sort of elder statesman of the squad, or would that be Big David Gray now?
I don't know. Face just seemed to me as a sort of the serious one. But now you mentioned Hannibal.
Well,
Face
Face
was
was
the Shagger.
Face was the Shagger, and Dan McGregor's a big Shagger. So
Well, I think he's happily married with a couple of kids, John. But
but Shagger's one of those.
Themselves, bride.
Shagger's one of those words in Scots that I don't think means what it sounds like anymore. Shagger's kind of like a term of endearment.
well, people call me it, and I've not had my hole for months, so I can see where you're coming from.
Right, have we covered everybody? Hannibal,
No, but-
Face,
But we get
BA, Murdoch,
Who did we say was BA?
Lewis Stevenson.
Obviously, duh.
Who else you would put in there? Right, David Loudon, Fridge Milkshake or Yazoo?
Whoa. Yazoo.
I'm going to say Fridge because I can't remember the last time I had a Yazoo.
I don't think I've tried a Yazoo before. I don't like milkshakes. Like, do you know the pre-bought milkshakes? Milkshakes from McDonald's and something's a wee bit different, but
If you can ever find one where the machine's working.
I'm not a big fan of milkshakes, to be fair. That kind of ruins that question. That's my turn to ruin a question, John. Sorry. Right. Next one, Sir Ron Lemon. After turning our clocks back by 2 weeks last month, do you think we will beat Hearts on Saturday? And if we don't, do you think immature adults will panic?
I still think we're going to win 2-0.
I'm not getting my hopes up, if I'm honest with you.
I might revisit that £5 bet for Nisbet to score a hat-trick.
Right, Andrew McBee, who's having the worst reaction to losing this week? Trump or for fuck's sake, right, Trump or Matty? He's asked.
It's got to be Trump because you've not went full on and budget. You're not at arbitration stage yet, so it's Trump.
He's up in a shite, isn't he?
But
He's
big
fat,
Trump.
aye.
Good. He's a prick, so I hope he does have a
Aye,
shite.
but then there's about 60 million pricks in America that voted for him, so it's not just him.
Aye.
Sorry, any Americans listening that voted for Trump. I know we've got a big listener base over there.
Aye, our huge American following will be switching off right now, or half of them will. Right, Lee Moggs, why did you choose Belle and Sebastian's Boy with the Arab Strap as your theme tune for the first 50 odd episodes? Right, I picked that one because it's probably my favourite song, and it's right catchy. It fits really well as a theme tune. If you ever watched the TV show Teachers back in the 1990s, that had it as its theme tune, and it worked perfectly. So I thought we'll use it. And then YouTube wouldn't let us post any videos properly because of copyright issues for using the song. So I emailed Jeepster Records and waited a few weeks. And in the meantime, we started using my dad's song instead. Jeepster eventually came back and said we could use it, but we decided not to bother changing back. So that's the genuine answer to that question.
Do you know what an Arab strap is?
No, there was a band called the Arab Strap, wasn't it? Or Arab Strap.
Aye. My a friend of mine, Pablo, he put me onto what an Arab strap was, so you should Google
I've got a friend called Pablo.
Have you?
Does he know what an Arab Strap is?
No.
What is it?
I reckon Brian's got an Arab strap in his top drawer.
I've got several things in my top drawer, but an Arab strap is not one of them.
I'll not ruin the surprise. I'll let you Google it.
I think it's one that I'll no Google on my work computer.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know what our work policy allows and forbids.
I'll probably no chance it. Right, next question comes from William. He says, after my Hibs dad fallout with one of the young team, does anyone feel the league position is hiding poor performance and this team could be playing better football and scoring more goals? I was told I was wrong. I feel we might click, dish out a doing and fly from there. League position, is it false?
No.
Where are we? Are we third or fourth or thereabouts?
We are third at the minute.
I think Aberdeen have got a game in hand. No, listen, we had that conversation before about like good performances, bad. You don't get there by accident.
Yep. Well, they're on merit. We've won games we probably shouldn't have, and we've drawn or maybe lost games that we shouldn't have. We are where we are, and
I
that's.
think we're the third
the
top
stats.
scorers in the league as well.
Aye.
I
Have we
think
have we
we're
had-
scoring.
2 defeats, I think, against Celtic and Aberdeen?
Yeah. And the Aberdeen one was mitigating circumstances because we had no Gogic or Nisbet for that one.
Yeah. Although I am getting tired of hearing that we're going to dish out a doing. I've been hearing this probably for the last 10 years with Hibs. That once it clicks, somebody's going to get a scalping. And this season, it's kind of yet to happen, I think. But it would be
I
nice.
think the doing last year was maybe St Johnstone when we pumped them 4-1.
Aye.
The year before that, I think it was Hamilton. Did we beat them like 5-6-0 or something at Easter Road?
Should be more than one a year, though, eh?
No, I'm just talking about the notable ones. Like I'm trying to dispel the narrative that we never give anyone a doing.
Well, this season we went to Livy and scored 4, St Mirren and scored 3.
So that maybe it would help clarify what a doing actually is for Hibs. What does that look like?
15-0.
15-0.
1 billion.
So that's happened about once in 130 years.
Who was it? Ajax won 13-0 against some team the other week, didn't they?
Venlo, I think it was.
Aye.
How do you?
Do you think they would have got beat that much if they didn't have a stutter? Right, William added to his tweet, he said, I realise this is possibly the most serious thing I've ever posted here, but the wee bam has annoyed me. Right, Kaiser Soze, if you couldn't be convicted of any one type of crime, what criminal charge would you like to be immune to?
If you couldn't be convicted,
So if you've got immunity for one specific crime.
tough to be money, eh? Like money laundering, bank robbery, like something to do with money and obtaining it by illegal means.
Printing it.
Printing it, aye, fuck it, I'll take printing it, aye.
Aye.
Like,
Counterfeit.
it doesn't matter how dodgy it looks. Like my money is accepted everywhere, and people just go, "Oh, there's that cunt John again, spending his £20."
Aye, but how do we say that's sort of changing the nuance of the question, isn't it? It's like you'd have to be a good counterfeiter to do it. Like if it was shite, just because you don't get arrested for it doesn't mean the shops are going to take it. You know, if you get 20 Marble Lights, please, and you hand over 20 quid, and they say, "No, you've just drawn that with a crane, you prick." That's
But
that's the way to work.
would that not be better though? That if it like that was your immunity, like you just hand it over and that was it. Like maybe they realised then, maybe realised afterwards, but you were immune from it, so you were never subject to the usual laws that everyone else was.
I
could
thought
hand
just
over whatever you
get
want.
nicked for it. What about you, Brian?
Touching. I like the touching.
What are you saying that you secretly want to touch people and get away with it?
Who doesn't?
In a nutshell, John, aye.
Matty, what would be your immunity?
Do you know what? I really like the idea of breaking and entering.
Which
No,
one,
it's
the
not-
breaking or the
Stop
entering?
stealing my idea.
no, to steal anything, just for a wee look around. Just a nosy bugger. Right, Mike, he says, how do I wipe the feckin' pure cheesy smile off my Jambo wife's face? I've tried force feeding her a bag of lemons. Please help, divorce isn't an option. So poor Mike's married to a Jambo. She's smug as anything. How is he sorting the situation out? What advice would you give him?
Start wearing her clothes.
What,
Because
if he's already,
from
if he's already tried that?
From personal experience, nothing pisses off your partner more than wearing her clothes, especially when you're out walking the dog. They don't find it funny. In fact, they find it quite alarming, actually.
I'm thinking play the long game. Just do all the things that really noise her up, like leave the toilet seat up. I don't know, drink out the milk carton straight out the fridge. Didn't use a glass, that kind of thing. And just
Aye.
like slowly, but you like roll dials of Twitch, like just slowly ramp up the pressure until she finally breaks.
It's funny that you
It's-
mentioned the twits. So that was when I saw that question, that was the first thing that sprung to mind. But that's also because I listened to the Top Flight Time Machine and they're doing a deep dive into the twits now. So I would recommend listening to that. But that's what I thought of, was the amount of fucking tricks that those pricks got up to with each other.
It's an old argument that they leave the toilet seat down.
Well, if your aim's bad, that would annoy them more. If you left the toilet seat down and
But we always get the bad press. Like, you've left the toilet seat up. Well, hold on a fucking minute. You've left it down. I need to lift it up. In
Aye.
fact, just do away with it. Just take the toilet seat clean off. That's it. That's it.
and
Argument
flush.
solved.
Right, Mike, that's some good marriage advice there for us. Don't blame us if things go tits up. Craig Montgomery, what's the best derby tantrum you've ever taken? I once locked my wife's 80-year-old Jambo granny out in the snow for half an hour on New Year's Day after a defeated time. She was still sitting on her dining room chair with a knife and fork in hand and party hat on her head.
I think that's the best tantrum.
Have you ever had a
Brilliant.
pure Derby Day tantrum?
Well, I think it was possibly the Wayne Foster derby. I was young enough that, in fact, age has got nothing to do with it, because I've cried after derby since then. But that was the first one where I cried and locked myself in the room. Wasn't coming out for hours afterwards.
Nah, you weren't having it.
No.
What about you, Brian?
No. None I can think of.
I kind of
Nothing
think
to
I've
think
had a tantrum myself, but I remember, so going back a few years after we won the CIS Cup, and you'll remember that Hibs had, in their infinite wisdom, chosen to the Derby to parade the Cup.
Yes.
So I'd gone to the game, I dropped, so we'd only been Josh, what was he not? Sophie would have been a baby, right? So the kids and Jane off at our sister-in-laws, who at the time stayed at Mountcastle. And I had a T-shirt at the time that had two Saputo figures on it. So you've got like a Hibs one standing over a Hearts one on the ground.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, well, you've probably seen the wee picture. I think I've got it in my signature on Hibs.net actually. And I used to say to Josh, because he would ask what it was, I would say, oh, that's like Scotty Brown, and he's kicked Paul Hartley or whoever it was, because Hibs are better than Hearts. And I always made a point it was they'd been kicked them over. And so obviously we lost that derby, and I came back up to pick Josh up. And as we were coming back out to the car from my sister-in-law's house, there's these two boys walking down with Hearts tops on, and Josh, who was only 3, just ran after them and swung a kick at them because he thought that was what you're meant to do. You're sort of mortified, but also secretly very, very proud.
Go on, son.
Just remember Jane kind of looking at me, just shaking her head like, "You fucking arsehole." Jack Gillies, he replied to this when he said, "I screamed Robbie Nielsen looked like a homeless junkie at the TV on Saturday night, and I said Liam Boyce looked like he glued what's-its onto his face." Oh, actually, Josh, I'm going to bring Josh in this again. When we were watching the game on Saturday, I can't remember what decision it was, maybe Nisbet not getting the foul or us not getting the penalty. Josh shouted his, fuck you, Colum, you hairline dick. And me and Jim were sitting beside him, and my first action was, Josh, go watch your language. And then I thought for a minute, I went, what's a hairline dick? And he was just kind of looked at me for a minute, he was like, aye, he's got a bad hairline.
I referred to Stephen Naismith as a giant baby when he was coming on.
Well, I think somebody referred to him as a greeting-faced ball bag. Oh no, what was that?
Scrotum.
Beaten face scrum. I don't know whose limited vocabulary came up with that.
Who did this? All right, we've got 2 minutes left. Last question comes from Sean Rayburn. 2 paraphrased quotes from early Longbangers are both Elgin episode. Tam Jim is class. He's going to be brilliant for us. And don't worry about what you say. The internet never remembers. Question: could Tam Jim and Vela have been equally and wrongly dismissed as Deutsch was? You could probably chuck Newell into that bracket as well.
I think it was just you and I doing the podcast back then.
I think, right?
I would probably hold my hands up and say I would have said Tom James was going to be good. But in my defence, I think I always had Doidge's back for day one, if I remember. I think the two of us always stuck up for him.
Did I?
Yep. But Tom James, yeah, that was...
Do you think Tom James got enough of a chance while he was here?
No.
I know he's still on loan, like at the moment, still technically contracted to the club, but
I don't think he had enough of a chance, but I think the chance he did have, he didn't show enough, if that makes sense.
I think when you look at the players in his position ahead of him, I don't think there's any danger of him dislodging them.
No, you're right. He's not going to dislodge Paul McGinn. Even Jason Naismith came in last year and immediately improved that side of it when David Gray was out. So, I think some players just don't. It's just not meant to be for them at a certain club. I think he's not had enough of a chance, but like I say, the chances he has had, he's not set the heather alight.
Don't make the most of it. John, you anything to add on that one? What about Josh Vela? Do you think we could have seen more from, or would he have turned the corner?
I like to think that he would have. I think there's a place in every squad for a player like. Sorry, I think there's a place in a squad somewhere for a player like Josh Vela, but I think Brian quite succinctly summed it up there when he was describing Tam Jim. Sometimes you just have to say it's not going to work out. You can see the qualities, I think, sometimes that a player has, but perhaps they're not fitting in a squad or a team or whatever it is that a manager or that team is trying to do. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Tam Jim back at Easter Road, whether it's his backup or whatever.
Well, he'll come back with a season under his belt, won't he? Who did he go to? Was it Wigan or something like that?
I think he scored a screamer perhaps after football resumed. So I think that was something that he came up to Hibs with. People had said, oh, he's, when you see these like videos of players that you've never heard of before on YouTube. And I think it was like a highlight reel of maybe half a dozen free kicks of his. I think he maybe scored one for Hibs. I think it was maybe like a top corner effort in one of the early League Cup games.
Yeah, it was a beauty.
But I think because of how the Yorkshireman's tenure went, there was just too many easy fall guys to kind of point at and say, "You're as shit as the boy that brought you in. Get to fuck."
Aye. Vela got sent off at the weekend as well.
Really?
Aye. Just to sum up.
So he is capable of doing something on a football pitch.
Aye. Just
even if it is only mistiming tackles or going through someone.
I think he scored for his new club the same weekend that Tom James did.
Aye, I think it was. I don't know if it was a screamer. He definitely scored. I remember that.
Aye. Right, that's time up for the night. Thanks everybody for sending in your questions. We'll be back next Thursday with another one. I'm back on Tuesday to look back at the Aberdeen game that we're playing tomorrow night. Any quick predictions for that one? John, we talked about it on Tuesday. You said 2-0, I think.
Said 2-0. Why? Is it? Do you know? Any of you know if it's going to be on TV or no?
Nah, I don't think it is. I think it's pay-per-view only.
Pay-per-view, okay.
Brian, score prediction.
3-0 Aberdeen. 3-0 for Aberdeen.
You're fucking happy clapper, yeah.
There's your evidence straight there, eh? Right. Okay, well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.